Alrighty, guys. Time to wrap it up for today. It is 3:30. It is Thursday, July 10th. And the market is stubbornly holding on to their gains. We'll see if they can do it into the close now, last half hour. But they've been grinding this all the way up to that upper levels, 35. Not sure they quite made a new high yet or not. Let's see. Yeah, they did. They just took out the highest barely. It ticked one tick higher. So stubborn, right? So it's light volume rally still like 700,000 on the micros. 700 on the ES on the mini, so it's light volume rally, but they're making new highs. Let's see if they can hold on to that. We're going to see them back off here going into the close. But we are wrapping up today with a market that is holding on to the upside, at least for now. And I would say looking at there's no news for tomorrow's trading at all. There's some Baker Hughes recount at the end of the day, but nothing to drive the market on a Friday. So probably expect more of the same range bound light volume. If we grind higher, I would not be surprised, but it's I know the earnings, and I just heard the earnings season starts next week, so that's when we start getting bank earnings at the end of that week, and we'll see how that shakes out. But right now, the market is kind of stubbornly holding on to the gains and grinding higher. So far, a couple of trades on the ES took them earlier on. That's before and on that first run up here to that level, the 62.25s. I took two short trades. The first one right there, I took the first one I got out of early. I didn't like it, and it wasn't developing fast enough. After the little hullabaloo there, I took another one, re-entered it, and then wrote it down for a nice $25 trade. So there we have it. So like 5 point trade. So I'm up 28 on those two trades on the ES, and that's about it on the ES. Had not re-engaged since light volume trading is difficult. You have to be patient, and if you're on the wrong side, it can be dreadful. Looking at so trade from the long side, look to buy weakness at this point against the 25s, against the 15s. If the trade below 15s, go back range bound. That's the way I would approach it in the overnight. Looking at the Nasdaq and the bonds, bond market is just flat out range bound, just in the middle of the range, going sideways, and I wouldn't worry about it. So sideways action on the bonds, just traded as a range. So look to get short against the 1408s. I probably up to 1408 to 9th and then 14, 15, 16 here for rotations back down. Look to buy support 20, the 13 to 114, 113.30 to 114, the 26s, maybe down to the 23, 24s here. Rotations back up again. Probably going to just make one edge out of this, the 23s after the 26s here, one edge for tomorrow. So pretty tight range, and I don't think the bond market's going to move a whole lot. We had it on the bond auction, a little bit rally after the bond auction, but not much. So that's why a 6 tick to rally, that's nothing. So not much action on the bond. And the Nasdaq, same story there. Nice grind to the upside, but not quite making it up to make new highs. So not as strong as the ES, but they're grinding, they're holding on to it. Nasdaq had a little bit of rotation, a little bit of weakness going on there on the big tech. So some of the big tech stocks are a little bit hammered, but there is a few sectors moving high, a few sectors with profit taking going on. I took a couple of trades. I made it. This is like a classic mistake trade or mistake, a bad trade right off the bat. So you're looking at the market trading higher. It's grinding higher, and you totally lose perspective. Look, take a trade here right at the FG half-hour switch, and it's grinding, grinding, grinding. Immediately runs down, boom. So it's me pay attention. I don't. These half-hour switches are uncanny. They are definitely interesting because this stuff happens at them. So here's I right at noon and then ran it lower, and I just got caught in a small trade there. I did not make it big. I had my stop outside that rotation. I got out early, and I pretty much managed to get myself in with a small loss. I'm down 26 on those two trades. So I'm up 28 on the ES, down 26 on the Nasdaq. So pretty much a break-even day across the board. But it looks to me like so far they're holding on to their gains. They're trading higher, and I would just stay range bound. Biases to the long side still. I look to buy weakness going into the overnight. So at this point, looking to buy against support at the 970s. Probably adjust this, take this one out and put an edge right here at the 930s. If they start trading below that 900s, go back range bound right away. Right, so that's the way I would look at the Nasdaq. So fairly aggressive on shifting that, but look to buy weakness down to that low, that ledge, three-letter ledge at the 930s, and below that one, take off the long bias. And then finally, oil and gold, and we are looking at oil and gold. Not doing much. Gold just sitting in a range, going sideways. There's range bound trading on gold. Sell up to the 33.40s, buy down to the 33.20s, and see if you get any directional move in the overnight. Oil, however, it moved lower, took a leg lower, and they backed off the edge. We're looking at the capital flow on that one. And as we said this morning, we looked at oil here up against that 68.50 to 69s. And if they could take it out, we could see a nice move to the upside. But there could also be that retest failure at an upper edge, and that turned out to be correct. So they took it lower and they failed to take it higher and ran right back here to the lower area. So they're right smack in the middle of this range. So starting off with a slight bias to the downside to see if they can take it lower. Looking to sell strength against that ledge at 67s and then at the 67.40s. Above 67.40s, go back on the long side and see if they can take this back higher again. But initially looking for see if they can take this lower, and if they can't, just by the throughout the overnight here, just kind of stay in the range, just start off range bound and stay range bound. But initially, let's see if they can retest that low, maybe take it lower in the overnight. All right, back to the ES, and I had, as I said, two trades on that guy. They were down here, a couple of trades, up 28 on that on two trades. But they're holding on. I mean, that almost thinking that Nasdaq can make a new high here. Sorry, the ES can make a new high. So ES is a lot stronger, leading us higher today. Nasdaq is the one who's been kind of flopping around a bit. So stay on the long side on the ES and Nasdaq for the overnight, at least to get started. On the ES, I would watch this ledge here below the 63.15, go back range bound. On the Nasdaq, that level is 22,920. It's a 930, right? So that's it. We'll wrap it there. I'll see you back in the morning. And no news to drive the market for tomorrow's trading. So it's going to be more of the same, I think. But let's see how it develops. Alrighty, guys. I'll see you in the morning. Have a good evening. Later.